I plan to build in the garage to make a wood and metal shop, it has to be where the work surfaces fold up or down against the walls so that the car can come back in at night or in the winter. The first piece I've had since I bought the house was designed like that because we didn't have the space. So the rest of the garage has to be the same way, that everything comes up and down. This table is like a picnic flea market table. It comes out into the center, the legs fold out, so I have the longest table right here. But the machines, the tools I want to buy need their own surfaces, and the only place I can do that is in the back of the garage. On this side of the garage, I saved this backboard, cast plastic backboard, to a basketball stand and net, and it's very strong, so it will make the perfect table to just be mounted on the wall with two metal legs on a hinge, so that when this comes down, the legs come down, it's about belt high, and on this I could put my table drill press in the center so it has room on either side, and the double grinder wheel, double grinder polishing wheel on the end. That will take care of this and those pieces of equipment. The stand-up drill press can just be set on the floor until the table is up and then put up on the table. And the same thing with the double grinder. It could just be on the shelf and then mounted to the top, which will have a 3/4 inch, half-inch plywood top to mount the tools to. Same thing for on this side, except on this side the table won't fold up. The table will fold down like the other bench with the same thing. The legs come down. I would be able to stand the table drill press here too if I chose to use it here. So this would be another good surface for power tools and some of the things I need to get. The one place that I could put a countertop that doesn't have to go up and down is against this wall and about 2 feet out. About 2 feet out, because the car can come in here and still fit with this bench 2 feet by 48 inches. The legs will be able to be underneath it to support it. It doesn't have to be folded, it doesn't have to do anything, the car still fits. And what will be on this bench will probably end up being the heart of the shop and how I'll make do-it-yourself jigs off of a motor that will be superior to some of the tools I probably buy. So I'll show you what the key, the heart of that thing will be when I finally get this table, this top built. This is a motor that goes to one of Carol's sewing machines. It's a replacement motor in case one of hers burnt out. She used to have 5 tables when she worked at an industrial park, but when she moved home, we could only have 3 tables. So I saved the motors and some parts in case she needed them. It's an incredible, incredible motor. It has rubber mounts to reduce vibration. It is not a variable speed motor as I thought. It is a variable clutch on it. When Carol had it mounted upside down underneath the machine, she only had to press on a foot pedal, and that raised this to engage a clutch that moves the wheel in. It doesn't take much to imagine what I can do with this. All the hardware that's on it for bolting things to it. And you could easily imagine that I simply have to make a different wheel to fit on this, which would be a great sanding wheel this way, or mount a tube coming out of this that's a rotating sander this way, which would be a great tool. It also obviously can put a grinding wheel on this to be grinding on the side of the wheel or on the face of the wheel. But the most important thing could possibly be to have this motor work with a pulley system that goes up in the air, connects to a ball bearing on a metal mount, comes over to another spot with a ball bearing on a metal mount, and you could make this work as a belt saw, belt sander, anything you could possibly rig up to connect to that drive. But the most amazing thing is how incredible the bearings are on this motor. Large motors like this, when you start them, they have a torque to them. If you've ever seen them start up without being mounted down, they'll jump. They'll jump as the motor inside starts to turn. It's why they have to be mounted so securely. This motor is, I don't know if they call it brushless. It was on the indicator that I filmed at the side. It has the most incredible bearings in it that it doesn't jump almost at all. And once those bearings are moving, you can shut the motor off and they keep spinning for minutes, because they're not connected to this wheel and drive until the clutch is pulled in. So listen how quiet this motor is. I'm going to put my hand on it just in case it vibrates at all, but you'll see I'm not holding it down tight, and there's very little jump to this. Fully up to speed and very quiet. As I pull up on the clutch very slowly, the wheel starts to move slowly. So with a foot pedal, I can control a sanding belt, and the minute you let it go, it's done. The motor's still spinning at full speed. I can hook this up to a foot switch for a sanding belt where I can move in and out, and when it's at full, it's very fast, very powerful, very quiet. The only sound you hear is this table and the tools vibrating. And the second you let it go, it's instantly stopped. When you turn it off, this motor will keep spinning for minutes. It'll go on like this. I could come back in 2 minutes and pull up on this handle, and the wheel's spinning with no electricity, just from the centrifugal force of that motor. And here's the amazing thing about this. Carol gave me 2 of these. So what I set up on that bench at the back of the shop will be able to run an enormous amount of power equipment.